Right, ladies and gents, I've got a little bit of a different one here. I don't usually make political content on here, but I've seen this from someone I subscribe to today, and I thought I wouldn't mind making a little reaction to it. And the channel, hang on, I'm just at work, I've got to do something here. The channel that I'm reacting to is Bettina Arndt. She's like a male advocate, anti-womanist from Australia. She's really good. And this is titled Senator Malcolm Roberts Reveals Feminist Bias in the Australian Institute of Family Studies. And like anything to do with that kind of family violence or intimate violence, it really is like men, like here in Australia, especially in Melbourne, it really is men are always the perpetrators, women are always the victims. I'm sick to death of hearing that, and a lot of other guys are sick to death of hearing that kind of shit as well. So I thought I'll play this to you and I'll pause it where it's appropriate and interject. All right, let's have a listen.
Senator Roberts.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for appearing.
Look how smart ass this Sheila looks here. Look at that smart ass looking grin on her.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for appearing. My questions are to the Australian Institute of Family Studies. In June this year, this headline rang out: 1 in 3 men report using intimate partner violence. That was plastered across the views. There was widespread coverage of research from the 10 to Men study by the Australian Institute of Family Studies, which found 1 in 3 men reported being violent towards their partners. Are you aware of that study?
That's Liz Neville here from the...
So we've got the woman here talking usual, suspect, all piercings and stuff, the short hair.
The Australian Institute of Family Studies, yes, I'm aware of that.
And she's something to do with feminist studies, so of course she'd been indoctrinated to just absolutely hate men. That's why you'll find that this senator actually brings up a lot of stuff that was omitted from these studies just to make men look bad. Fucking pathetic.
That research.
Thank you. The Institute failed to mention in their report that almost a third, 30.9% of the men surveyed were victims of similar violence, which included both physical and emotional abuse.
Yeah, 39% of the men were victims, and they failed to mention that in their report and study. I mean, why would they? It goes against the narrative. It's going to make women look bad. Oh, well, we can't have women looking bad, can we? That's just a big no-no here.
The correct headline should have been 1 in 3 men report using intimate partner violence and 1 in 3 men report being the victims of intimate partner violence. Why did you misrepresent the data presented in your own study?
Thank you for the question, Senator. You are referring there to what we call...
You can just see the cogs spinning and wheels are turning in that head of hers. She's trying to think up something here. Look at her, she's trying her hardest to think up something to answer that. She's just been burnt.
Bidirectional violence, which is acknowledged in the report. We did not explore deeply the question of men's experience of violence because we were...
No, not because, you didn't explore it because you don't give a fuck about men suffering.
Focused primarily on the experience of gender-based violence, which is...
You mean violence towards women? That's what you mean?
Is situated within the ethos of the National Plan to end gender-based violence. So that was a significant factor.
She's just talking absolute shit now. It's just filler, word filler, until she thinks up something that's clever to say to rebuttal him.
There were other issues too in terms of the scope of the report, and I will hand now to Dr. Sean Martin, who is the leader
Let's
of...
continue before we come to Mr Martin. AIFS's reported data excluded all the men...
This guy's a champion. There's another video I want to react to, but it's a bit longer. And I have heard him in the past do this kind of stuff too. This guy's a real champion. He's not letting her pass the buck. She had no answer to his question of why they didn't include the male statistics. No answer whatsoever. So she's trying to pass the buck to this other doctor. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be a medical doctor, probably a doctor of bloody women's studies or something like that. And he said, no, let's just talk. I want to talk about this with you for a bit longer. I like this bloke.
Men who were victims, yet not perpetrators of violence. A total of 355 forgotten survivors to Mr Martin. AIFS's reported data excluded all the men who were victims, yet not perpetrators of violence. A total of 355 forgotten survivors, or 7% of the sample. Why was this data excluded, even if the focus of the report was male perpetrators? Surely it provides important context for the community to know that almost as many men are victims as perpetrators of intimate partner violence.
100%, buddy. Exactly. Exactly, mate. It's like he said, I mean, we all know why it's excluded, but he's just trying. He's putting her on the spot. You know, he's just lit a flame underneath her and she's trying her hardest to blow it out, but it's not happening. We all know why, because it goes against the narrative, because what the political left here in Australia want to do is just paint the picture, women good, men bad. So I can never trust any of these kind of studies that these womanist groups put out, because they omit so much stuff. And I even know a guy right now that's going through the ringer with divorce court and things like that. I might make a little story about him. I don't know whether I want to do that yet, but I may do that. And he's just getting fucked over at every single turn by the system. So good on you. I like this guy.
To know that almost as many men are victims as perpetrators of intimate partner violence. Are you peddling feminist propaganda at taxpayers' expense? Because the taxpayers fund you.
Senator,
This is misleading.
If I could just address that question, because I was involved in that report.
Here comes Captain Save-A-Ho, but he shuts him down too. Fucking brilliant.
That you're talking to. So, first of all, in terms of men's experiences around intimate partner violence, our approach was driven by external expertise, which suggested the acute need was around data on perpetration of intimate partner violence. Of course, there are other estimates around men's experiences of intimate partner violence.
It might be centred around perpetration, but the studies prove that women are 50% involved too. They're 50% perpetrators too. So you haven't said anything, mate, that's rebutted him.
Violence, like the personal safety study, which points to 1 in 16 men having recently experienced intimate partner violence, and 1 in 4 women. So that was very much known. The report itself, as you indicate, did include some information around men's experiences of intimate partner violence. The reason we did that, as our director has just pointed out, is we wanted to get a sense of this bidirectional relationship with intimate partner violence. So we wanted to know how many...
No, you just wanted to shit on men and make them look like the villains again.
Men perpetrated or used intimate partner violence, and how many men both used and experienced intimate partner violence. So that was the approach that we took, because we had to limit the scope of this particular report. What we didn't include in that report was men who solely experienced intimate partner violence, and again that was done purely because we needed to contain the scope of the study. If we wanted to have a look at that specific issue, then it would require a different analytical approach, which is just outside of the scope.
It's just too hard to do it. We just didn't have enough sheets of paper to write that information down. It was just too hard. We'll press for time. A load of shit.
Of this particular report.
Thank you. Let's move to coercive control. In September 2022, the AIFS was contracted by the Department of Social Services to deliver a literature review on coercive control in the context of family and domestic violence. Rather than present a comprehensive review of all the relevant data, AIFS chose to present coercive control as, quote, a gendered phenomenon, actively excluding all data on men's experiences as victims of coercive control from...
I can tell you right now, as far as coercive control goes, women are the masters of that, bar none. And these slime bags here, these scumbags just neglected to put on purpose all that information in this report just because it makes men look bad and be victims. What an absolute pack of fucking idiots.
In their literature review. Is it true that the ABS Personal Safety Survey of 2016, showing that 40% of emotional abuse victims were male, undergoing similar experiences to female victims?
Senator, I'm not altogether sure which research you were referring to.
Look at them, they cannot admit they're wrong. They are stumped, they are fucked, they're fucked, and they can't do anything about it. This bloke is roasting the living shit out of these two dickheads. I'm loving it.
There, with respect to your first comment.
Geez, the wheels are turning pretty hard, aren't they? The cogs are turning. The cogs are turning, but she just can't think of that rebuttal. Why? Because she's been checkmated. Simple as that.
And
The
so can you
contract
just
vote.
repeat the question about...
Oh, can you repeat the question? You have been called out on your manipulative fucking test, this thing that you've brought out. You've been called out and you know it and there's nothing you can do about it. So you're clutching at straws.
I'm not entirely sure I can answer to the ABS survey, but if you could repeat
You can answer, but you'd have to admit you're wrong.
the question.
Your institute was contracted by the Department of Social Services to deliver a literature review on coercive control in the context of family and domestic violence. That's what the context was.
And the question?
Is it true that the ABS Personal Safety Survey of 2016, showing that 40% of emotional abuse victims were male, undergoing similar experiences to female victims?
I can't answer to that. I'm sorry.
Could you take it on notice?
It's a matter for the ABS.
Oh, passing the buck again. You can't answer it because you know that information was omitted on purpose in order to paint men in a bad picture, in a bad light. You've been caught out and there's just no way for you to climb back.
Well, you used that material in your report for the Department of Social Services.
I'm happy to receive the document and provide a more fulsome answer on review of it.
Your department should have it. Your institute should have it because you provided the survey. Take it on notice?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Sorry, just to clarify that, Senator Roberts, it's a departmental document already, not an external document. Sorry.
But they used it. They used the data
But
from ABS.
who's the author and who?
ABS is the author, but they used it.
Okay, can you table the document for the committee? And
When you say in ABS, it's the Australian Bureau of Statistics. It's basically as high and as a complete of a survey, of a study that you can actually get. So it's not just a couple of college kids who've just whipped together this quick little survey and interviewed 20 people. This is like up there with that Pew Research, and that it's at the highest level of research.
and we'll make sure that it goes through to the department for comment. Thank you.
If we can get it from ABS. I'm assuming we can.
Well, if you make reference to a document, it should be tabled in committee. They are the standing orders, and so I'm sure someone in your office could be able to assist.
Is it true that the Personal Safety Survey revealed that men and women experience economic abuse in almost equal numbers, again with comparable experiences? You'd like the data?
So, Senator, I assume you're still quoting from that same publication.
ABS.
Yeah, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, so it's another reference.
Yes.
Yeah, so also same source, ABS. Happy to bundle that up in the question taken on notice if that's appropriate.
That'll be fine.
Once again, she's just like a fish out of water here. She knows she's been caught out. just dodging up the old truth a little bit here, and yeah, she's just got no rebuttal because he's got the ABS results in front of him, and they're saying that it's roughly 50-50, which we all kind of know anyway. But no, it's all got to be about how men are absolute scumbags, just misogyny. They're just born evil, and there's nothing they can do about it until they're on their deathbed, and they can say, "Hey, I've done no wrong by any woman," and only maybe then can they be just bestowed the gift of, "Oh, you're a good man. You didn't do anything wrong." It shits me, this stuff. It really shits me out. Men are just, the root of all evil.
Fine. Is it true that the AIFS's own 2012 Experiences of Separated Parents study, that was the title, Experiences of Separated Parents study, found fathers reported that their children were exposed to coercive or controlling behaviour at twice the rate of mothers?
I don't have personal knowledge of the 2012 publication, but if you are quoting
How convenient you just forgot all that information that you put together. How convenient.
from a source document,
That's your own study, your AIFS study.
Unbelievable. That's your own study. Look at it. They just know that they fudge the facts. What an absolute joke, mate. It pisses me off, Taxpayer money goes to fund this shit, and they can't even come out and say, look, it's even. Sometimes men start the fights, sometimes women start the fights, but nope, it's always got to be men. Men are just the root of all evil. They're nothing but pricks, nothing but toxic masculinity and all that shit. I'm glad that this was filmed and they got caught out. What a absolute pack of scumbags.
Sorry?
It's 2025,
Is it?
indeed.
Oh, thank you for that.
Well, it's
Hear that smarmy comment, is it? Oh, thanks for reminding me what year it is.
it's simply that Ms Neville, I imagine, was not working with the Institute at the time that the publication you're referring to was published.
She's relying upon the history within the AIFS.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there are some limitations on officials' personal knowledge. So
I accept that. That's why we're sending the report. Why is AIFS taking an ideological and, in my opinion, dishonest position on this and other issues, denying women's roles as perpetrators of violence and coercive control?
Senator, I don't agree that that's what AIFS is doing, but I'm very happy to take
Oh, so you're just outright lying now, bitch.
away that particular publication and provide a more fulsome comment.
Thank you. Doesn't this biased approach promote distrust of men in the community, creating division and undermining relationships, hurting families?
Absolutely it does, 100%. But let's see what her answer is.
I think that the witness has already indicated to you that she doesn't accept your characterisation of the research undertaken by their organisation.
The old verbal gymnastics. Have a listen to this verbal gymnastics. Now she's stepping up and talking for her because she's that main woman there in that shit-coloured baby shit green top is about to burst into tears because she's been caught out in lying. Come on, play. Try turning the settings down. Play. Having a little bit of technical difficulties here. Just give me a second or two. I'm going to pause this stream and I'll be back once I get it sorted. Alrighty, we're back. I think I fixed the playback issue here. Let's give it a crack.
Their organisation.
Okay. Thanks, Minister. I'll continue. False sexual assault allegations. In 2021, two independent researchers, Tom Nankerville and John Papademetrio, discovered that the AIFS had misrepresented data on the prevalence of false sexual assault allegations. Your institute's figure.
How's that the absolute scumbags? I mean, imagine for a guy just for a second that you were falsely accused of, non-consensual bedroom fun, or SA. You'd think that'd be something that should be brought to the top of justice in all the meetings where the lawyers and magistrates and all that come together. All the politicians and lawmakers, but this group here of these womanists are just trying to hide the fact that it actually happens more than it does. False accusations happen more than it does. Absolute, one of the most scummiest things on this planet you can do.
Ago, which is 2021, was 5% of reports to police are false. But that was based on only selecting cases where the complainant admitted it was false or where the police proved.
Hear that? 5%, what's that? 1 in 20 chance that a guy's going to be up on false charges. Fuck that.
The offence was false. After examining the data accurately, the correct figure turned out to be between 10 and 15%.
So the correct figure is between 10 and 15%. As I said, guys, just be careful around there when you're interacting with women. You really got to pick and choose who you want to talk to carefully. And like I always say, if you ain't getting choosing signals, don't even go up and say hello. Just stay away from them.
Why did you wait until the researchers had contacted AIFS more than 50 times over 18 months before you quietly removed the misleading report?
Senator, I'm not aware of that particular matter, but I am very happy to take it under consideration if you're able to provide some further documentation.
Pathetic scumbags have been caught out. Have a look at it. We all know if this was the other way around, that there'd be absolute fucking hell to pay if this was the other way around. Ridiculous.
We have talked about this, Senator Roberts, in a different committee context. I do think witnesses are generally happy to engage with materials that you bring into the committee environment, but it is very difficult for them to do so if they are absent a title, a publication place, a publication date. Ideally, people would be given a copy of materials if you're asking them to comment on them.
We'll get them to you. Because of the researchers contacted AIFS more than 50 times to get you to correct your position, why did...
They had to be contacted over 50 times before they responded and corrected, basically put in the right information. That just goes to show the lengths they'll go to make men look like complete arseholes and the devil incarnate.
Why did it take 50 times over 18 months, and why did you not issue a retraction or any note on the page the report was on correcting the record?
Senator, I'm not in a position to confirm that.
Can you take it on notice and we'll get you the document?
Senator
Thank you.
Roberts, I just need to know how much longer you need. I am about to share the call.
Okay.
One more?
2 more questions.
Okay, great.
As Australia's biggest family research body, taxpayer funded, the organisation surely has an obligation to ensure the information you promote about such a vital issue is correct, because your legislated mission is to conduct high-quality, impartial research into the well-being of Australian families to inform government policy, and that's why it's so important, because the policy is determined partly on this, and promote evidence-based practice in the family services sector. How can you reconcile these 3 cases of bias with your mission statement to provide unbiased research, impartial research?
Senator, I have already said that I don't accept that characterisation, and further that I am unable to confirm those reports that you have shared.
The absolute word salad that's coming out of her mouth is just it's just unbelievable, mate, and it's unacceptable. Now, this is a recent video at time of this recording, and I hope to God that this gets followed up on and she gets taken to task, her and her whole team of dickheads, womanist fuckwits, that have painted men in a bad light. I hope that they have to all be fired from their job. Every single one of them has to be fired. There's just no other way around that.
And that's my comment.
So you're taking it on notice?
With respect to the documents that you have raised and there's questions around those documents, yes, I'm happy to take
Thank you.
those on
Final
notice.
question, Senator
Yes,
Roberts.
yes, Chair. And it means that the government policy is being misdirected, and that's leading to people being hurt and wasting taxpayer funds. And it seems to me that government is number one in misinformation, disinformation. That's what a lot of people are saying, and this is more evidence of it. Can you comply with will you give me an assurance that you'll comply with your mission statement in the future?
Senator, I adhere to the Minister's statement of expectation.
She can't even say from now on, look, from now on, I know I've been a bad girl, but from now on, I'm going to be totally unbiased and do things right. She can't even say that. This woman here and her whole team need to be fired immediately and sued and taken to court for damages and that their bullshit propaganda has caused that many people. They need to do time.
And I adhere to the Minister's statement of expectations, and I have provided a statement of intent in response to that statement of expectations. That's the authorising environment that I am referring to.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Roberts. Senator
has a line of questioning.
Just a quick one. I might try a different way.
Well, this just went from one to another. I'll go back here for a second.
Which is 2021.
Hey, we've got Dr. K here, idiot.
Minister's statement of expectation.
All right. I guess I'll do the whole final words thing. So we know this kind of stuff's been going on for a long time. This whole anti-male, anti-men sentiment. And I'm glad that this group of feminist bloody statistics people for these feminist study people have been taken to task here by that senator, and hopefully there's a follow-up to this and they all get in trouble, they all get fined, they all get fired, and especially this woman here does a little bit of time just for misleading the public. It's got to be a criminal offence that they're misleading the public like that. Unfortunately, this kind of stuff goes on all the time, and in every Western country it's all the same. Every left-leaning Western country, Western state, even left state, even a right state, it'd probably happen over there in the States. There really is no right-wing states here in Australia, so this stuff just sickens me. I'm glad it was covered by Bettina today, and I hope other people cover it as well, and I hope that there's a follow-up to this, because it's just absolutely, it's just appalling and pathetic that they can get away with doctoring the numbers and the stats just to fit their narrative, and it just should not be allowed. Shouldn't be allowed anywhere, but especially in politics. And as a man, it disgusts me to think that, some people, men and women, are viewing me and other men in a bad light because of false statistics. The way they'd have you view everything is that men are responsible for 100% of violence, whether it's domestic or, a fist fight in the streets or anything. It's just all men's fault. Men are evil. Men, patriarchy, this and that, men are the problem, and women are just sugar and spice, when we all know that's a whole heap of shit. And the stats came out to say roughly 50-50, domestic violence, intimate partner violence, family violence or whatever, you want to call it. It's 50-50. And 50-50 makes sense, you know. So I'll leave this one here. There's a longer one I'll do later on, but I finished up this one in the car after work. So the other one's about an hour long. And I'll get around to that whenever I do, but thanks for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.